Okay, not many people talk about this, but we should talk about it. Let's address the elephant here, okay? So once you've got your game ready and you want to publish it, you want the world to play on all the consoles, you have to go through the International Age Rating Coalition. Now, at the time we were doing this, it was fairly new, and it was, it's trial and error. The thing you have to ask yourself is two things: that what is your audience for your game? For us, we wanted this audience to be teenagers and above. We wanted as many people to play the game. We didn't want to make an adult-oriented game because that would limit our market. But the thing you have to think about is read the documentation. I know this is so boring, but believe me, the guidelines are there and it's all there. Now, I have to admit, I'm going to be full disclosure here. I got a lot of that. A lot of those. And that's okay. That's okay because no one gets it right the first time. Well, not me in a way. And when that happened, you have to think, like, what could cause my moderation to fail? What in the game? So I would go and look at the rules and guidelines. And they're very, very clear, like violence and gore. But what is violence? Because Fortnite is a game with rifles. Isn't that violent? Then you have to ask yourself what qualifies as violent. So once we went through that, we started to make some changes in our game. And that's the point I'm trying to make here. Instead of talking about legalities here, the legal side, the marketing side, all of those things influences your game design, influences the decisions you get to make in your UEFN game. It isn't just about UEFN. It's the whole process here in terms of getting your game out. So I'll give you some examples. One of the examples was we had floating astronauts that were supposed to be unconscious, but we realized that when we asked a lot of people, like other players, they're like, yeah, we thought they were dead. And they were like, oh, why would we rescue dead people? That's a bit weird. Has some Shyamalan Night territory there. So like, okay, let's change that. So we then decided, let's make it clear that these guys are alive and they're waving. They're just tethered. So now they're waving. And it completely changes the game design, because now we're rescuing astronauts that need help, but also it passed the IARC ratings because now we're not dealing with dead people, we're dealing with people that are alive. Simple little things, right? But it makes a big difference when it comes to moderation. The other thing was a scary looking monster. Now I thought, let's go crazy, make something really like horrific. That could be considered as horrific when you're looking to create a game for the masses. If this was a game for 18 R rated, yeah, fine. But we don't want to hit just that market. So we changed it. We literally just changed the shader. We didn't change any mechanics. I'm not reanimating that. But it kind of looks cool. So I'm like, that kind of worked out, actually. So sometimes when you have to go back and address notes or make changes, don't be so hung up about it, because sometimes a really good idea could come out. So now we've got this neon type looking alien, which looked really cool, thanks to the moderation process. Never thought I'll say those words. And once we submitted, we got this. We're like, yay! It's past content review. We can now let everyone in the world play it. And the other thing I was going to say was, because now you don't just have to type your island code, you can type the name of your game. Think of your titles being more unique. Like, don't call it box player, zombie killers, or whatever. There's so many games like that. There wasn't nothing called Moontopia, so it's very easy to type Moontopia. So think of your title, just like when you make a movie or write a book or anything creative, it's the title is very important. What's really cool is that I'm able to play the game instantly on my PS5. I know I had to film it, but I was like, even though I've worked in games and films for a long time, I still get that butterfly feeling. That butterfly feeling of seeing your game on a console in your living room. It's not the same as looking at it on your PC that you developed it on. But we went one step further. We tested it on the Android, because for us it's important to make sure that as many people play the game. And yeah, good excuse to buy a new phone too.